Welcome to Hi-Fi Rush, a beat-em-up rhythm game with comedy, action, and lest we forget music. Lots and lots of music. So grab your guitar, crank up the volume, and let's beat up some bots. But explosive, this isn't a horde shooter. Shut up, we're playing it anyway. Here's a quick spoiler warning in case you care, but this is Hi-Fi Rush. It's fun whether you're experiencing it for the first time or you've dumped 70 hours into it and are still grinding for that golden guitar. Now, a good note to start this first verse on is how. How much LSD are you on right? Oh, wait, that's the wrong question. How do you merge Guitar Hero with Devil May Cry? Well, the devs of Hi-Fi have a simple solution. Make everything sync with the music. And I'm not just talking about the rhythm segments or your attacks only landing on the beat. Literally everything moves in time with the soundtrack. Idle animations, environmental hazards, platforms, cutscenes, mag rails, even the paint pulses to the beat. Oh, that must be why I've been sick. It's all the paint chips in my gut. Them jumping around must have upset my stomach. Serves me right, I'll get my daily dose of lead from gasoline from now on. You play as Scott Pilgrim, Chai, a rock star,
future rock star,
who finds himself on the wrong side of an evil corporate scheme. It turns out having an iPod mini replacing your heart is punishable by durability quality assurance. That's code for death! Or in some cases, banishment to the void. Since Summers in the Shadow Realm are subpar at best, your goal is to scour the Vandalay campus and bludgeon anyone with a health bar. But this company's rather expansive and Chai isn't exactly the sharpest note in the scale.
Whoa!
So he's gonna need some backup. Peppermint is the tsundere of your G-rated harem.
You were worried about me.
What? No, it was more a general concern for the state of things.
And despite the fact that Chai's the main character, she's the boss.
You're paying me double for this.
But I'm not paying you anything.
I would say she's the brains of the quintet, but half of your allies have engineering degrees and the other half are still smarter than you. Peppermint, being the rational person she is, brings a duo of pistols to your sword fights. This gives her great range, questionable targeting, and allows her to shatter bright blue barriers. Then there's the pacifist, both in the literal way and the pacifist way. Macaron. But I choose to call him Big Mac because he's roughly the size of a Volkswagen and it fits the food naming scheme. If you can tell by his gorilla proportions, Mac is the muscle of the group. And I don't mean that in the he punches people way, even though that's exactly what he does. Macaroni and Cheese is proficient at obliterating any obstacles in your way, specifically ones made of or wielding any super high-tech nearly invincible Z-shielding. Yet he can't punch through anything else? Look, you're playing as a cyborg with musical magic powers who uses an axe like an axe. Realism isn't exactly on the table. Or in the same building, for that matter.
Don't make me spill my latte, you need to be careful.
And rounding out your allies, we have the hottest, the thickest, Gorska is our resident turncoat giving us important information because Vandalay security keeps accidentally emailing her.
Just got an email. You know you're there. Wow, you should really take me off the security alerts.
This Scottish helicopter uses the power of spinning really fast to twirl enemies around, fill their stun gauge, and snuff out fires. When you're not on fire. The fire sucks. Gorska's moves don't do any damage, but her CC is a major key in taking down big boys with starred stun bars. I know having a whopping 3 sidekicks can be a little confusing for some of you smooth brains out there. Luckily, the laws of physics were so kind as to color coordinate for you. If it's blue, it's going to make a barrier. If it's green, it's going to have Z shielding. And if it's red, it's going to set your clothes on fire. Or it's just really annoying. Looking at you, Stimpy Stomper. Assisting your group in the most minimal way possible is Consciousness Review Allocation Personnel, or Cinnamon for short. Stop thinking about it. Cinnamon's role in the group is that he's around. Look, he draws on his face with a dry erase marker to emulate emotions. 10 out of 10 best character. Following your crew around is the robot cat 808, which has single-handedly made the internet very confused, probably because she's introduced as having Peppermint's voice.
Oh no.
808 is probably the most important creature in the game aside from Chai himself. She channels your beat hits, teleports your allies, performs the strongest attack in the game, and acts as a metronome if you can only see this part of your screen. That's not an exaggeration, by the way. As I mentioned earlier, everything in the game is synced to the soundtrack. Here, let me show you. Teal text me, find all instances of the beat in this shot. Thank you. This detail is extremely unnecessary, but makes the game feel more alive when you are just walking from point A to point B searching for upgrades along the way. You may think it will help during combat since attacking in time will increase your damage and dashing on beat can happen thrice in a row. but you'll never notice it during the heat of battle and just use a heavy attack or grapple to sync back up. But where that won't help you is the rhythm segments. These portions of the game conduct you on what button to press and when to achieve whatever arbitrary task you're trying to accomplish. Yes, I'm playing a beat 'em up with a keyboard, and yes, I'm playing a rhythm game with a mouse. I know I'm a degenerate, shut up! Most rhythm segments require perfection to proceed, but don't let that scare you away. You can keep on trying until you get it right and the game won't judge you for struggling. And I noticed that after I've done the segments a few times, I stopped paying attention to the countdown and only focused on the button that I needed to press. I don't know if it's sad or impressive that I can ace track 11's rhythm segment based on music alone, but it certainly feels cool. And speaking of cool, I want to talk a bit about the skin these mechanics are wrapped in. From a visual standpoint, this game is fantastic. The comic book aesthetic makes the reality that you're an aspiring rock star with the IQ of a tardigrade beating up a WWE wrestler with a pile of garbage magnetized to a stick somehow believable. On top of that, it gives the game a unique visual identity and makes for some fantastic cutscene transitions. I just got punched into the second dimension. Anyway, let's crash through a window and return to the game. The level designs are top tier as well, with every region being visually and auditorily unique from the others. This diversity is especially noteworthy in boss fights. Every boss has a health bar, but the way you reduce its contents changes from fight to fight. Sure, you're gonna smack people with your gear tar most of the time, but every battle has a different mechanic that makes it stand out. This can be something as simple as making a robot punch itself in the face to reveal its weak point, or as absurd as outstaging a narcissist in front of her fans. And if Mimosa's crippling pride wasn't evidence enough, every character in this game is perfection. Bombastic bosses, private detectives, tutorial refrigerators, meta announcers, resentful vacuum cleaners, and even this one guy who just likes a job well done.
Oh, what a good job it was.
The writing in this game is extremely stupid, but I mean that as the highest of compliments. Almost every line of dialogue got a chuckle, grin, or guffaw out of me. Just be warned that you're gonna need a high pun tolerance. And there you have it, about half the reasons you should play Hi-Fi Rush. It's easy to pick up and satisfying to master, so listen to all the copyrighted songs, magnetize any metal nearby, and whatever you do, don't play Rhythm Master on a fresh save when you're trying to quickly get footage of every level.
No.